Hope that, like I said, you're having a great Monday. So, of course, before we get into all of the topics that we have for tonight's show, are you following us on social media? And if not, how come? That just seems like the smart thing, the necessary thing. Get into it. So hit us up on all of our socials, KBLA 1580. Make sure you were following me, especially at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Um, yeah. Also, download the app. Go ahead and make sure that you're doing that because, listen, you might want to take us on the go. You might want to listen again later, because that point was really amazing and you want to follow up on it. So make sure that you're doing that, right? And of course, if at any point during tonight's conversation you want to have a chat with us live on air, hit us up 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Would love to talk to you. And, you can always join us on YouTube. The chat is always bustling there. So hit us up over there. Now, let me give you the rundown of the stories that we're going to get into this evening. So, first of all summer long, we have been discussing Tyrese and his outbursts, Tyrese and his divorce, Tyrese and his growing pains. Well, his ex-wife has come out and said that it was really outside influences that led her to file for divorce from him. Well, we're going to hear what she has to say. And of course, Tyrese has a response. And dare I say, I think I'm on Tyrese's side this time. We're also going to get into Shannon Sharpe. Now, he and Chad Ochocinco Johnson have a podcast called The Nightcap, I believe. And so they were talking about a first date that Shannon went on back in the day. And he says that ordering this menu item automatically means, at least in his youth, that this happens later on. We're going to get into that. We're also going to talk a little Jennifer Hudson. Now, we know she and Common have been dating for quite some time on the low. They've never publicly come out and said, hey, we're dating. And so with everything that we've seen going on as far as celebrity couples, celebrity relationships, Common being a common dating person in Hollywood, I mean, that was a little mean, but it is true. We talk about women sometimes. People do oftentimes. So if there are men that, seem to have dated around, we can acknowledge that as well. Is it a smart thing in these times, in these social media times where everything gets exposed? Is it a good idea to try as much as possible to keep your relationship off of social media and out of the media in general if you're a famous person? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to get into, listen, there is another story around Tyrese that is buzzing. We're going to talk a little bit about that. That has to do with his music. So, good things, like something that we can look forward to. We are also going to get into something that is happening with Rihanna. Listen, get excited, get ready. Something is going down with Miss Riri. And a little John Morant, Brian McKnight, and if we have time, Dwight Howard. So all of that is coming up. But before we get into all of those stories, I have a couple of conversation starters for you. These are topics that we can't fully get into, or just things that I feel like you need to be aware of to make your day a little brighter. So first up, there is a new Beats by Dre commercial. I know we don't talk that much about Beats by Dre anymore. It seems like, they kind of fell off, but they're still around, and they have a new commercial that features LeBron James. His wife Savannah is doing the voiceover, and his family's also featured in it. And make no mistakes about it, very clearly in the copy, because it's all about overcoming and what they don't want you to do. They being the haters. They don't want you to stay in the league to play with your son and then do it again. Both Bryce and Bronny are there. So, yeah, it looks like LeBron is going to go for 25. I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that. And Kim Kardashian has launched a men's line to complement her Skims line. So we know Skims is loungewear, underwear, shapewear for women. Well, she launched a men's line with a campaign that features 3 athletes. So when we come forward, I'll let you know who those athletes are and how the ladies are reacting on social media to Kim's photos of the new Skims line. All of that and more. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots, a lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, I mentioned that Kim Kardashian's Skims line has a men's line, and she dropped the promo photos for it today on her Instagram. And all the ladies are going crazy. They are pretty excited to see the men that Kim involved in her campaign. So let me give you the rundown. First of all, she has Neymar Jr. He looks amazing. You can check these videos out on her Instagram if you're curious, or on Skim's Instagram, I'm sure. They are what you think they are. They're, loungewear. Boxer briefs. What are they called? That's what they're called, right, guys? undergarments, comfortable wear for the men. She also has Nick, excuse me, Nick Bosa, an NFL player, and Shay. I am going to jack up Shay's Gilchrist, I think, kid. He plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Incredible, like, hooper. And he looks really good in the Skims ad. They all do. Someone even requested that Kim do a Skims men's calendar. Do they still do those? Do people still put calendars on their wall with pictures of people? Seems like an archaic concept to me. But I was told in the comments, they warned, like, don't get too cozy up to the Nick fellow because he is allegedly anti-Black Lives Matter, a Trump supporter, and called Beyonce's music complete trash. So, he may not be for you, right? But go check out the new men's Skims line. The artwork is nice. So kudos to Kim. She keeps it moving. She's going to get that billionaire status. Also, our girl, Mary J. Blige, she dropped the cover art for a new single she has dropping next month called Still Believe in Love. And Mary looks amazing. She is on a yacht. Looks like she is in Italy somewhere, maybe south of France, something like that. The water is sparkling. She's in a bikini with all the platinum and diamonds you need, looking amazing. So, go Mary. She's still out here doing it, showing you that 50 isn't what it used to be. Also, Usher is still out there in Vegas, knocking it down, taking people's women, and upsetting their men. So, of course, at his show this weekend, it is a stop for, all the famous people and celebs through and through. So, on this particular night, Saturday, was Doja Cat's birthday. So she had a moment. She was very much into it. She was there with CJ Cyrus, who is a guy that she's been dating on the low. There's been a little bit of controversy with that. He also sang to Jessica Alba. He gave Charlemagne the God's wife a dozen roses. So Charlemagne was pissed. He said Usher is a terrorist trying to take down everyone's significant other, except for J-Lo. He told J-Lo that he didn't want the smoke with Ben Affleck, much like he told Gabrielle Union he didn't want the smoke with Dwayne Wade. So he bypassed that. I guess he picks and chooses who to mess with. So, like we said, those Usher shows are winding down, but there's a world tour coming in February. All right, so look out for that. Now, listen. We have talked a great deal, like I said, about Tyrese and his, what I'd like to say, emotional outburst on social media regarding, his divorce and how he's been feeling about it. And let me say this, because I know I've been pretty hard on Tyrese at times, and I think he's deserved it at times. That's just my opinion. But this time, I think that Tyrese may have had a point all along. Possibly. It was looking like Tyrese might have been the problem. And the thing is, he still is probably a portion of it. And I'm not saying that just because I do not want to shift blame. I'm just saying, a track record is a track record, right? So it is what it is. However, his ex-wife, Samantha, who he has been pleading with about child support and alimony. He, said that it's out there, the type of woman she is. He sent a message to the future men that she might date, that they would know what type of woman she is by how she has responded with him, because Tyrese felt that he was, bamboozled, led astray by her, because she said that she didn't care about the limelight and celebrity and the money. And now that they're divorcing, he feels that she does, right? Well, she has been highlighting her life as a single woman on YouTube, right? And recently, she had an interview on the Hardly Initiated podcast, right? And while on there, she admitted that there were people that were around her during her marriage to Tyrese that may have pushed her towards divorce, right? She said, the truth of the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No. And that's the truth. Um, Girl, what's going on? I don't know. So listen, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to her comments. Of course, then we're going to comment on her comments. And then we're going to discuss Tyrese's response because, as I told you, on this occasion, dare I say, I might be rolling with Tyrese. And I think that he may have a point. It certainly gets interesting. So, Kamal, do we have the clip for Samantha? Oh, yeah. And happy birthday to Andy. He's out tonight. Shout out to him. You guys hit him up. You know, you can use the voice note on the app and wish him a happy birthday. So shout out to Andy. We got Kamal in here holding us down tonight. Here we go.
That will love him because of like what we share together. And the child that I look at every day, and like she looks like him. You know, she looks like us, and him, like
Wow.
Yeah. It's just beautiful.
That is something. Are you now in the spirit of potentially even being able to rekindle a relationship like?
Oh my gosh, she's asking me this. Can we get an edit?
Is that a hard question?
It is. It's loaded because of the fact that there's been so much that's happened. You know, like there's been so much that's occurred. Okay. It's my daughter's father. So I would say this. I would say that if we were both going to show up and we were both going to fight for it equally and sacrifice equally, like, you know, things that I needed and, you know, things that, you know, he needed. I wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Your girl ain't perfect. So I would say that if we were both willing to fight and we were both willing to do certain things, then yes.
Something about that actually makes me very happy.
No, I don't know if that makes
I don't know why.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if it's...
So listen, she goes on to explain that, you know, when she finally made the decision to divorce, she was in tears on the phone with her lawyer, and, you know, that probably wasn't the best person for her to be speaking with. And then there were other friends that were around her that were, you know, encouraging her. And she said that she's an overthinker and may have looked too far into what Tyrese was lacking as a partner at the time instead of the great qualities that he possessed. And she said her circle of friends only highlighted the shortcomings, right? So the two got married on Valentine's Day 2017. They share a daughter, Soraya, who they welcomed in 2018. And in 2020 is when she filed for divorce. So they had been by the time the divorce was cleared, they had been together 5 years, but really, you know, only 3 years as a couple. The divorce is not quite finalized yet. They're still working out financial terms, but, you know, Tyrese has moved on, and he has a new girlfriend named Zelly that he's been with for a while. So these are some more comments that Samantha made. She said, "It's very important to seek wise counsel. You really have to decide and make a very calculated decision based on your belief systems. I think we do take divorce very casually. I would never tell a woman to walk through that. Not in the same frame as I was when I did it. I was very, very hurt. I was very angry. I remember when I made the decision, I was hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. I was not in any position to make the decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. I would never tell somebody to make that decision when they're that emotional. But of course, I wasn't talking to someone that genuinely would be for marriage or for reconciliation." Listen, I'm going to call BS on Miss Samantha. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you had a lot of time to think that through. And then think it through again. And then think it through again. You saw what this man had gone through with his first relationship. from what he said and from what you now reveal, he seemed pretty clear about what he was looking for from the woman that he was going to be involved with. You know, he wanted someone that wasn't interested in the limelight, that wasn't interested in the material aspects. And you said you filled all those boxes, right? That you were a simple girl and you liked simple things and you didn't care about all the mansions and stuff. I understand. Say what you need to do to get them. I got to secure the bag. But here's the thing. You got to continue to live that day in and day out once you get that man. I think maybe you forgot that, right? And it started to get a little bumpy. And to me, it sounds like you took your eyes off the prize. Or maybe you felt you had the prize and that was just it. Girl, eyes on the prize if you're trying to make it long term, at least long enough so that you wouldn't have to do battle like you did over the prenup and all of these things. And now, and this is according to Tyrese, this aspect of it. Tyrese calls BS on what she had to say. Tyrese took to live and he went in as he's been prone to do. Now, he said before that any man that she is seeing is going to see what she's doing to him and be triggered. And at the time when he said this, we discussed it. And I was like, is she seeing someone? What? That's a very interesting thing to say, a poignant thing to say. Well, Tyrese revealed in his live that she was seeing someone that was also famous. He didn't name any names, though. He also said that she, at some point in time, did try and come back and rekindle things with him. But he let her know that he was in a relationship with Zelly and that he wasn't going to do that to this woman. So if that is true, kudos to you, Tyrese. I respect that a lot. I'm sure that that was a difficult thing to make because obviously at the beginning of this, you wanted your family and you wanted your situation. So I think that that is very honorable that you recognize that you had moved on with this woman who had entrusted her heart to you and you didn't want to start the cycle again. So bravo. But he also says that he believes that Samantha wanted to be famous and that she was not seeking counsel with friends because her friends noted that when she started acting differently and they discussed it with him and they mentioned it and things of that nature. He said the only person he believes she was talking to about this and getting advice from was her mother and that she was getting bad advice. So it sounds like, maybe there was some mother-in-law drama. That's not uncommon. Sometimes people have that. But it sounds like she's regretting things, We always say, and not that this should be a reason not to get divorced from anybody, but life is very different being Mrs. Tyrese Gibson and being the ex Mrs. Tyrese Gibson. The perks aren't always the same. It doesn't always work the same. But it does feel like, and again, no one should be, I guess, looked down upon for wanting to share their story and share their emotions and share their feelings because we all go through things. We, want to talk it out and want to talk about the mistakes that we made and so forth. But I don't know, it just seems tricky in how this is all rolled out. And again, this is your truth. But you know what it's going to do when you bring it on podcast, and you know how this is going to go, especially when you guys are still in the midst of resolving the issues for your divorce. So I don't know. I just question what's going on. But she said that she did not receive guidance from a nurturing pro-marriage community, and she would not have initiated the legal process to terminate her marital relationship if she had. She also, said that she would consider reuniting with him. As I just mentioned, Tyrese is in a new relationship. But listen, she also is just saying he's her daughter's father. So I don't know, as the new girlfriend in the situation, well, newer because they've been together for a while, I don't know how well that goes over. You hearing your man's child's mother say, yeah, reconciliation. I'd like that. I'd like us to be a family again. That's probably not going to go over well as we head towards the holidays, but we'll see how it happens. Tyrese also said that he made it clear that he was loyal, faithful, and a good man to his ex-wife. So when we come forward, we're going to get into a little bit more of what Tyrese had to say on this topic. And, ponder the question. Is this the point where they remove us from the group chat and just talk to each other no matter what? Like, we kind of don't need to be involved in the process anymore, don't you think? We'll have more on that on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is on the other side.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. An off-duty pilot is being charged with attempted murder for allegedly trying to crash an Alaska Airlines flight. The airline said the flight carrying 83 people from Everett, Washington to San Francisco diverted to Portland Sunday due to the incident. Police say suspect Joseph Emerson was overwhelmed by the flight crew and remains behind bars. On a sad note, Georgetown University's women head basketball coach Tasha Butts, who is black, has lost her fight with breast cancer. She was diagnosed with the disease 2 years ago and left the team in September. Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes are returning to the gridiron. Colorado comes out of the bye week and will visit 24th-ranked UCLA on Saturday night at the Rose Bowl. After losing to Stanford, the Buffaloes dropped to 4-3 on the season. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
At City National, we listen to you.
I want to expand my business and my legacy.
I want to set up the next generation for success.
I want to see my vision come to life.
I want to feel right at home.
Your goals, passions, vision, future. We want to hear it and work alongside you to achieve it. Visit cnb.com to learn more. City National Bank. Here for our clients and communities.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach coach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose America.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, we were talking Tyrese and his ex, Samantha Lee. She recently revealed on a podcast that, she would take Tyrese back if they both talked about it and, had a conversation and initiated that open dialogue. Well, Tyrese is calling BS on everybody. Well, on her and that notion. He hopped on his live to respond to the podcast. He said, look, the lawyers are on my back every day. Go sell this bleep to somebody else. Look at every interview I've done from Sway in the Morning to the Breakfast Club. If you don't like me, I don't like you. I don't need none of you women in my comments saying they like me, he continued. I don't care to be liked. I never cheated. I got more access to than most men. I know. I was a good man, a good husband. I was very, very focused on my family and children. So Tyrese is like, no, that she should have let him know that she wanted to be famous and they could have done it a different way. I don't know if he really means they could have done it a different way, but, he is just putting it out there that this is not what he signed up for. And he is calling her bluff. So sounds like Tyrese, after all of those months of pleading and begging and reconsidering and standing in the tears, is ready to put it in his past and move ahead. So we'll have to see what happens, though. The fact that he jumped on live so quickly to respond, I don't know. But we'll have to see. Of course, they're going to keep us involved. We'll get the group chat update later at some point on how it goes down, because that's what happens. So listen, are you ready for more music from Rihanna? I am. So according to reports, Rihanna is gearing up to release 2 new albums worth of music and prepping for a world tour. Now, I know, for some, her Super Bowl performance this past February in Phoenix was just okay. I enjoyed it. She was pregnant. She was suspended above the field. And Rihanna is more a vibe than hardcore 1-2 count choreography. I mean, she's going to give you a 2-step and a whine, but it's more of a feeling. So, they said that She recently signed a $32 million deal with Live Nation and is planning her comeback tour for 24-25. So probably end of next year sometime we'll get the new music, middle and she also allegedly has recorded a ton of new music. So we'll have to see what's happening if this proves to be true. We know that Rihanna is on her way or at billionaire status, or at least her company is, as far as Fenty. She has a lot going on. You know, she has a new baby son, her older son, RZA. She and A$AP Rocky are in a partnership. A$AP has also just been announced the creative director of a Puma line. We know that she has her Fenty line and Puma coming out in a collaboration in a couple months. Remember a few years back, she had a line with Puma before she relaunched her Fenty brand. So, you know, Rihanna has a lot of things in the works. She's ready to get this puppy going again. I'm surprised. Well, she did step down as CEO of Fenty Beauty. Well, or I guess maybe at the top of the year it becomes official. So, you know, it's like that's going over there. She has Savage Fenty. Now let's, you know, get this music thing back on. We haven't seen Rihanna on a tour since 2016. And that's when she performed hits from her Auntie album. By the way, Auntie is my favorite Rihanna album. Love it, love it, love it. And her Fenty Beauty empire is valued at a little over $2 billion. So yeah, Fenty Beauty billionaire. So that makes her a billionaire. And, you know, they get their babies. So we'll have to see new phases of life. Rihanna certainly has a lot to talk about with a new album. And I'm ready for more Rihanna music. I don't know how you feel, but that is how I feel. So I'll have to see if that proves to be true and if it adds up to what we think that it could be. Speaking of new music and coming back around, I mentioned Tyrese briefly. Well, not briefly, but I mentioned something musically and related to Tyrese. So I don't know if you remember, I think it was maybe 2013, maybe a little longer. Tyrese, Genuine, and Tank had a super group called TGT. They were nominated for a couple of Grammys. It was a really good album. They kind of went on tour, I think, maybe a couple of shows, and then it fell off. But they had some interesting TV performances. And then Ego split it apart. Like, it was a really, really interesting situation. They've talked about it a little bit. Basically, Tyrese was like, I'm a movie star. I should get the bigger share of the portion in the group because I'm Tyrese Gibson, you know? And the group's position was like, it should all be equal. But if we're going on who the biggest name is musically, technically, that would be Genuine. It would be. So, you know, it didn't end well, but this weekend they were all on a show. I believe it was in Miami, somewhere in Florida, and they got together in a room. Tyrese has been on Tank's podcast, the R&B Money podcast with he and Jay Valentine. Shout out to them, where he said he would be open to getting the band back together again. And, you know, this time they all three said it in a room together. So I hope that they can really get that off the ground. That album was phenomenal. And, you know, it could be something special and something different. And keep us out of the Fast and Furious Part 97. Because, man, I don't need any more Fast and Furious. Maybe you guys do. I don't think they should do anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. Like, didn't they go to the moon or something? And then Perry jumped back down. It's too much happening. It's too much happening. It's time to let it go. Like, Fast and Furious started out 20 years ago. This little off-brand street racing movie that was in, you know, the cut in LA. Now they're like all over the world doing these impossible jumps. They're like super agent spies, the real Suicide Squad. I don't know. At any rate, I would like to see TGT reunite. I hope that they mean that. That would be amazing, you know, to see them back together and making music. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully everybody's ego is in check and we'll get new music from them and new music from Rihanna. Those are things to look forward to. All right, so look, as said, there's always something going on, right? Always, always, always things happening. And sometimes it's hard to keep up, right? Because there's a new twist and turn every day. So listen, I'm going to discuss this slightly, but not, because it's news, but sometimes I feel like I don't really understand what's happening with them. So we know Blueface, Krishan, his baby mama Jaden, Blueface's mom. It's a whole dysfunctional mess over there. It's a lot happening. And Blueface proposed to Jaden and all of these different things, right? However, bigger than that, Blueface has been ordered to pay $13 million to the strip club owner whose club was permanently shut down because of a Vegas shooting incident that he was involved in, right? According to legal documents, Euphoric Gentlemen Club sued Blueface over the incident, claiming their business was ruined, and they won. So he took a plea deal of a probation for 3 years for his involvement in the shooting, but the club owner said that he had to permanently shut down because of this, and the courts agreed. So now he is on the hook financially for that business taking a turn. I'm telling you, one day they will realize that toxicity leads to a poor, poor lifestyle, especially the one that they're trying to portray. I don't know. I hope they get it together. I hope they also take us out of the group chat because, look, it's too much happening over there. The mom's getting online. Blueface and the mom are shading each other. Blueface shaded his mom because she was not happy that he proposed to Jaden, who is also his child's mother. It's a long thing about that, but like the stuff that they say about each other online as family, as mom and son, is just really, really a lot for me. I don't understand it. It is that fame thing, that thirst thing. I am unclear, but that's another family that if we're gonna have somebody remove us from the group chat, take us out, please, mama, especially, because I don't understand sometimes, mama, how do you in 2023, how do you accidentally upload a thirst trap to Instagram? I don't believe that. There's too many things that you have to go through to upload stuff. There's too many motions. There's too many things to click through. It looks too different from anything else. Even if you're trying to send a DM, all of that looks different. So for me, I don't know. There's just a lot happening there, and I'm cool. I'm cool. It doesn't work for me. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Leimert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K-Line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, Tyrese is always an interesting topic. Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat says, please remove me from the group chat. I don't want to know anything about any more of these celebrities' personal lives. I'm good. I feel you, Mimi. I understand. Fahima says, Samantha should have been talking to Iyanla, juxtaposed to an esquire. Meaning, instead of talking to your lawyer, girl, you need to be getting some advice, some savior advice. You know, I mean, listen, I honestly don't even feel like that's really valid. You're an adult woman with a child. And even if that day you did, there are steps in between. You guys were in California, I believe, initially, at least when it was filed. I believe, might be incorrect from that, but we know you have to be separated, I think legally 6 months to a year, some period of time before a divorce is finalized. And your divorce isn't even finalized yet. So, but Tyrese is in a new relationship. I mean, it depends on, I guess, I'm assuming they probably filed irreconcilable differences. Unclear. But, I mean, I think initially he was trying and she was not. And something has changed. He is implying that it is, you know, she's having a hard time getting the money. So the money situation is different when you are Mrs. Gibson than the ex-Mrs. Gibson, and we see what happens with child support. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not saying that's the case with Samantha, but that's what Tyrese is saying the case is, right? It also could be whomever he alleged she was dating someone that is also somehow in the industry or has a high profile, and it could just be tit for tat with that. I don't know. I do think that we have definitely not heard the last of this situation because, you know, hey, they keep us in the group chat. They keep us filled in. As soon as one says something, somebody's hopping on live to clear it up, to explain it. So they're definitely tapped into the social media reaction, the social media response, and all of that. I think it's important for them that they want to keep everybody abreast of what is going on. It's hard out here in relationships, you guys. Things are happening. It's moving fast. You know, everybody is in their feelings. And so, a little left of a topic really quickly. I mean, we can always circle back to that, but not really much more to say, except we have our popcorn ready and we'll wait to see what happens next in this twisty, turny road. Will divorce be finalized? Will Tyrese and Zelly make it through? Stay here, tune in, and find out. We'll be waiting. So listen, it's always a funny thing with wax figures. It's always a strange thing with wax figures and black people. They always kind of come out not quite the way that we would expect. Nicki Minaj's looked interesting. Beyonce looked like a whole white woman. Didn't really look like B. Well, the latest one, because The Rock is complaining about his, he said he's going to talk to them and have them brown up the skin a little bit and make some facial detail features. Have you seen Lil Wayne's? Listen, go to social media. You'll find it. They have, the only thing, it looks like they got his tattoos right. Those look about right. It looks like they even got his dreads right. They're a little spotty, right? Blonde on the ends. But I don't know whose face it is, and I don't know why his body looks ill proportioned. Maybe it's the angle that they took the photograph in. I'm really not sure what's happening. But Lil Wayne was not happy. He took to social media and was like, sorry, Wax Museum, but that stuff ain't me. You tried, though, and I appreciate the effort. Listen, I don't know whose face that is. I do not know. I also do not know why they have him busting out of a hospital gown. I'm a bit confused about that. Like, that was unclear to me. Is this supposed to be the moment when he had that health scare? I'm a little confused. Yeah, it's very confusing. I don't know if it's right, but maybe they'll fix it. He has a grill in there. They seem to have the tattoos, but I do not know whose face that is. I also don't know whose body that is. And again, if someone can inform me, I would like to know why he's busting out of a hospital gown. Like, is that a famous scene from a video and I've forgotten? I'm a little confused, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's very concerning, though. Very, very concerning. Okay, so listen. Speaking of concerning, right? What would you do if your child's father was an athlete and he was allegedly $200,000 behind on child support? Well, if you're Jordan Craig, that is the mom to Tristan Thompson's oldest son, Prince. You take him back to court again and again, and you keep hitting him in the head. According to legal documents, that the child support amount that they agreed and settled on back in 2019 that stated Tristan would pay Jordan $40,000 a month for their son, Prince, has not been met. That Tristan has either paid a smaller amount or nothing at all since at least November 2022. Now, we know that Tristan is no longer playing in the NBA. If you keep up with the Kardashians, it's not called that anymore in Hulu, it's just called the Kardashians. You saw that Mama Chris got Tristan a job at ESPN as an NBA analyst, but he's not on there regularly. The NBA season does kick off tomorrow. Maybe we'll see him more. But I would assume the checks aren't rolling in like they once were when he was active on the hardwood. Jordan, who's about her business, documented all the payments that Tristan has made from November of 2022 until now. He's only paid half in November, paid in full in December, no payments in January. And then from February to July, he made 6 payments of $14,000, with the largest payment being $29,000 in August. So she is requesting that any NBA checks he gets, that they be garnished so that she receives the money that she is rightly owed. And I guess Tristan is playing again. He recently signed a $2.7 million deal. Like, that is vet's minimum with the Cavs. Back with the Cavs, huh? And so she is saying that it doesn't matter that he was making $17.7 million and now he's making $2.7 million. She still wants her bread, and she wants earnings of $80,000 a month to be withheld until further notice, until everything is satisfied. I heard that, Jordan. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to talk Shannon Sharpe and the story of a 90s date that he went on and what a lobster dinner equals in his mind. We're also going to talk about Tyler Perry and his new deal. We're going to get into some other stories, other trending topics and headlines, all of that and more. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. An off-duty pilot is being charged with attempted murder for allegedly trying to crash an Alaska Airlines flight. The airline said the flight carrying 83 people from Everett, Washington to San Francisco diverted to Portland Sunday due to the incident. Police say suspect Joseph Emerson was overwhelmed by the flight crew and remains behind bars. On a sad note, Georgetown University's women head basketball coach Tasha Butts, who is black, has lost her fight with breast cancer. She was diagnosed with the disease 2 years ago and left the team in September. Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes are returning to the gridiron. Colorado comes out of the bye week and will visit 24th-ranked UCLA on Saturday night at the Rose Bowl. After losing to Stanford, the Buffaloes dropped to 4-3 on the season. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Escape with the best stories of the year on Audible. Hear celebrity memoirs, mysteries, true crime, sci-fi, and more. Ignite your imagination with audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.